We were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. All right, we didn't buy one player. All right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it. Yep. So it's tough.
So meanwhile, moments ago, Jimbo Fisher has now responded to Saban's criticism. Take a listen.
First of all, I'll say it's a shame that we have to do this. It's really despicable. It's despicable that somebody can say things about somebody and an organization. More importantly, 17-year-old kids. You're taking shots at 17-year-old kids and their families. That they broke state laws. That they're all money. We bought every player on this group. We never bought anybody. No rules were broken. Nothing was done wrong. It was all in the way we do things, the ethics in which we do things. And these families, it's despicable that a reputable head coach could come out and say this when he doesn't get his way or things don't go his way. The narcissist in him doesn't allow those things to happen, and it's ridiculous. But when he's not on top, and the parity in college football he's been talking about, go talk to coaches who coach for him. You'll find out all the parity. Go dig into wherever he's been. You can find out anything. And it's a shame that you got to sit here and defend 17-year-old kids and families and Texas A&M because we do things right. We're always going to do things right. But we're always going to be here. We're doing a heck of a job. These coaches have done a great job. Our players have done a great job. The whole organization of recruiting people. It's despicable that we got to sit here at this level of ball and say these things to defend the people of this organization, the kids, 17-year-old kids, and their families. It's amazing. Some people think they're God. Go dig into how God did his deal. You may find out about a guy that a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past or anybody that's ever coached with him. You can find out anything you want to find out, what he does and how he does it. And it's despicable. It really is. And it's a shame we have to sit up here and have this conversation about things we do. And it's personal to us? Yes, it is. It's personal to A&M. It's personal to our players. It's personal to our coaches and everybody involved. And I know the guy. Know him really well.
Wow. Some really pointed comments there from Jimbo. Obviously, some pointed comments from Nick Saban on the other side. Called him a narcissist, called him God. What do you think about Jimbo's comments?
Well, first off, Jimbo has every right to be angry. Mm-hmm. These were reckless accusations that were made without presenting any facts. We had Paul Feinbaum on earlier. Even the comments that were made about Deion Sanders were very reckless at a HBCU in Jackson State because of the way he prefaced the commentary for Nick Saban by saying, well, I read in the paper. Well, now we're stating, look, we as public figures, I know that whenever I speak at an event, there are these out. These are being recorded. I don't know what would push Nick Saban to get to that point where he felt like he had to minimize or demean other, franchises or other, schools or people in order to build his program up. Like, right. You have all the success in the world. People have considered you to be the GOAT. And I understand that it is challenging now that rules with NIL have changed, but you need to pivot in order to continue to leverage you being Alabama in time. That's what every business does. Let's stop talking about college football and college sports in general like it's all, hey, this is amateurism. That world it no longer exists. What's actually happening right now is people are finally reckoning the fact that we are dealing with business and it's being presented because now people have to be transparent.
Right.
So now you put Jimbo Fisher in a position where he needs to defend himself and his organization and all of his 17, 18, 19-year-old, 20 young men. And then you got Deion Sanders, who is still not spoken yet. And I'm curious to hear what Deion Sanders has to say. So I think Jimbo has every right to defend himself, and this is personal. He's calling them names. There is a level of narcissism that comes along with being great at something you do.
Right.
And for Nick Saban to sit up there and to say something like that about Jimbo Fisher and Deion Sanders in Miami, 1,000%, that is a narcissist. Now, look, I may not ever go back to visit Nick Saban again.
Right.
Because and I understand he can hold that against me. But when you sit up there randomly and attack other organizations when there's no reason for you to even do that in the first place, I think that's extremely petty. And I think, frankly, Nick Saban that's below him to do that.
Right.
It's
right.
below him to do that.
Yeah, like Paul Feinbaum said earlier, they're most likely going to win a championship this year, and he's talking about, like you said, HBCUs and talking about Texas A&M. So we'll see what exactly
I want to say
happens
one
with
last
that
thing. And I know I said it in our hour one, but the thing that really bothered me the most. Look, first off, attacking Jimbo Fisher, that's one thing. I get it. Even it was unwarranted, unnecessary. Jimbo has the right to defend himself. SEC rival.
Right.
Okay. Understand it to a degree. Why are you going to go out and attack Deion Sanders at a HBCU? I did an interview with Deion Sanders for my podcast, The Limits on NPR, and I talked to him for an hour and a half about the lack thereof resources that he's had at Jackson State and how he's had to manufacture making moves by creating a brand, leveraging his own brand, about how he's had to find ways to raise money so they can have the proper busing to games, the proper meals to games.
Right.
And for me, when you start attacking, I'm going to say this personally, a black man who's going back to a historically black college to make a difference,
Right.
Why? Why are you attacking anybody, first off? But why that? He's trying to do something to give back. He's actually creating brands around his players. So almost in a way, I want Nick Saban to say, you know what Deion Sanders is doing? He created a partnership with Barstool Sports, and now people, we know, the masses know to a degree, who these top football players are. But when you start helping them build their own individual brands, i.e. Travis Hunter, who's a big-time player, who now will have a brand built around his whole digital footprint, that's helping him elevate his profile for what is next. By the way, that should be part of the curriculum. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.